Hi Fiber friends, and welcome to Fiber and Floral, a mostly knitting podcast. Today we're just gonna kind of be chilling, relaxing. It's gonna be more chatty. I'm gonna be showing you some finished objects I have as well as some plans because I'm officially out for Christmas break. As I mentioned before, I work in a first and second grade classroom, and we had our last school day yesterday, and I could not be fuller ready for Christmas break and just relaxing at home with my family. It was an absolutely lovely week. The kids were so lovely. We watched Klaus, which is an animated Christmas movie together. We had like a little Christmas breakfast, and it was just a very lovely week with them, celebrating everything. We also celebrated Hanukkah because Hanukkah also starts on, I believe, the 25th actually. And it was just a really lovely time. And my students did this really nice thing where they, the parents had coordinated, where they all brought in like a little gift and a handmade card and a handmade ornament and put them in a gift basket for us. And so at our Christmas breakfast that we did, they presented us with the 3 baskets full of chocolates and homemade cookies and ornaments and Christmas mug and hot chocolate. It was just really lovely and so thoughtful. I truly love the school that I work for, and the parents are just great. It is not every class that is as thankful and lovely parents, but it's been a real gift. So it was just a really sweet week. All that to say, we are exhausted of the Christmas merriment and are glad to be home. So I have some finished objects to show you guys, as well as some whips that I haven't actually shown you on this podcast. So I'm very excited, especially one of them is a test knit for Crayabea, and it is just stunning. I can't believe I knit this, and I'm really excited to show you. So stick around, welcome, and happy knitting. Okay, my first finished object is my Christmas socks. It is the Colorwork Cuff Club December socks. So I've talked about these before, but it is a Colorwork Cuff Club by Summerlee Knits, and every month she comes out with a new design. This month in December, she came out with actually 2 designs, or 4 if you include. She also has motifs without the snow, and I knit the December socks, and they are finished. And I did a big no, a thing that I shouldn't have done, and I wore my socks before photographing them or even showing you guys. And normally I don't do that, but because Christmas, I finished them on Wednesday just in time for my Christmas breakfast at school, and everyone was dressing really festively, and so I knew I had to wear them even though they were blocked, but they were not photographed. And it was it's dark, it stays dark from the sun does not come up until 9 a.m. really, and it goes down around 3:30, so there's just no time. That basically I'm at work when it's bright out, so no photos were had. They have been worn every single day since I finished them, because I'm basically gonna wear them every day until Christmas. And but I'm just really happy with them. Look at these. You know what? I'm just realizing I have not duplicate stitched the chimneys on the house motif. So I guess they're still whips maybe, but I mean, that'll only take 10 minutes, but there is supposed to be a little yellow chimney. up here. I'm just realizing this now, but regardless, that's an easy fix. I chose, just like Summerly, to do one like tree motif and one village motif. I just think they look so festive together. It made me so happy. This is a sock that, like, I don't know if I would have ever seen myself knitting. Like, it's just very jolly and happy, and but they make, I'm really into, like, I think just Summerly has a very different vibe than I do, but I do love her stuff. And when she came out with like these motifs and then the stripes attached, I just loved it. And they make me so happy when I look at them. I was able to use, I mostly used for all of the main colors, I used Arvetta, just their sock yarn. Or is it Ficolana is the brand? I always get confused. It's one of those. But and then for the Christmas tree motif, I actually used leftover Silvergette yarn that my husband's socks were made in. So there's just a little bit of like hunter green variegation there. And then for the cuff and the toe, and then also on the house, I used some Keatscon, which is a local dyer. She also works at Volan, and my Secret Santa from my knitting group gave me 20-gram skein of her hand-dyed yarn. I don't know, I couldn't find the name of the color. It just said like 20 grams. Maybe I missed it, but it's like a beautiful like little sugar cookie color, and that's what it makes me think of. And I knew immediately it was going to be perfect. This pattern came out literally about an hour before the Secret Santa exchange in my knitting group, and I got this and I immediately knew I was going to knit these socks and they were going to be perfect. And I think the colors just came out so well. Everything was like stash yarn. I didn't have to buy anything, and I'm so happy with them. I kind of want to knit like next Christmas like another pair of these, so then they're interchangeable. Like I have 4 socks, but they all can be worn together. I think that would be really fun. But yeah, I love these so much. I spent so long picking out the right Christmas socks, and this pattern just came out of nowhere and is absolutely stunning. I could keep going on about it. It's just, I love it so much. Then my second finished object is actually one that I started early last year. Like I talked about it on one of the first podcast vlog things I ever did, and it is a Sophie shawl, excuse me. I actually had this in the snooze basket, or the basket of shame, if you will, for unfinished objects for the longest time. And then I basically finished my socks and I just wanted an easy project to like on the go. And so I picked up this and decided I would finish it. It's the right time as well. I think I put this down in March, and like I don't wear big scarves anymore in March. So I just didn't really have like the will to finish it. But now with everything being, oh, I hope you can hear my mic. Now with it being so cold again and wanting to wear winter scarves, I was motivated. So I finished this up. It only took me about a day or two, and it is done. I used Wool Dreamers Moda in the color, is it 605, I think is the color, hang on, 605, which is just this it is the most beautiful mauve color, which is what really attracted it to me. I just bought 2 skeins, and so a skein is 100 grams. And so what I did was basically I knit to finish like 1 skein, and then did the increases through 1 skein, and then cast on or began knitting the 2nd skein and immediately began decreasing. So this is exactly 200 grams. And I also used 5mm needles instead of the recommended, I believe the Sophie Shawl calls for, it's either 3.5 or 4mm needles. But I think the Sophie Shawl, I've seen a lot of people do this. I do this a lot, where I basically follow the instructions, but I don't pay attention to gauge. I only pay attention to like when I'm switching skeins and like what needle size I'm using to correspond to the yarn I'm using. So if I know, and like I might change, like if I have like a skinnier yarn, then I might do the scarf, or if I have a thicker yarn, I think the shawl is perfect for that. So I kind of just use them interchangeably and do what I want. But I often find that's the case with shawl patterns, is because it's a shawl and you're not going to wear it per se, you don't necessarily have to be so concerned with gauge, just like needle size and making sure you have enough yarn to complete the project. So, but I think the Sophie Shawl / scarf is a good chance. Like if you just have 2 skeins or something, or 4 skeins, you kind of don't necessarily have to pay attention to like the stopping and starting, or like the amount of stitches so much as you just do your increases until you're halfway down with the yarn and then start your decreases. So I'm really happy with this. I was actually going to keep it for myself, but I might actually give it as a Christmas gift to my friend Stephanie. She is actually, so my first boss when I moved to Berlin, it's his wife, and she is basically the older sister that I never had. She's 10 years older than me, I believe, and has just been such a gift of wisdom in terms of like just like life and relationships, but also like how do I get a doctor here? And when I got pregnant with my first daughter, I was like, what do I do? What are the things I need to be concerned about? And when I've had issues with my bosses or my workplace, she's just like my go-to person here for navigating life in Berlin, but also just, parenting and relationships and whatever. She is just the wise older sister that everyone needs. And so this is also one of her favorite colors. And when I think of her, or like every time I was knitting this, I just thought of her because she's a couple hoodies in this color and she just looks stunning in them. She also has red hair. And so I think I'm going to gift this to her for Christmas. We always go over to their house on Christmas Eve and celebrate with their kids. So yeah, I think I might gift this to her. I think she'll appreciate it. She's also a big fan of chunky scarves, and I think it'll make her happy. So and I think being able to love her in just a small way that she's loved me would be really nice. So yeah, this is the Sophie Shawl, and I just love it. Although I have to say, I will be quite jealous every time she wears it because I really want to keep it for myself. But I think I knew all along this was meant for her, if I'm being honest, and I might just have to knit another one for myself. This is really, truly my perfect shade of purple. And I definitely could see, I have a couple sweaters in Moto because it's just so price affordable. And I could also see knitting like a nice sweater in this. It says it's a DK, but I always knit it because my gauge is loose, and I prefer like a lighter weight DK when I'm knitting DK weight sweaters. I would almost use this for a worsted. So like I'm considering the Billy pullover by Sari Nordland. I think would look really stunning in this color, and so that might be on my spring list. Although, do I want to worsted? Yeah. So yeah. Those are my finished objects, the Sophie Shawl by Petite Knit. Oh, and I use these little stitch markers. I'll have to show you. I had these little stitch markers marking where the increases and decreases, and it just made it feel Christmassy, even though it wasn't necessarily a Christmas project per se. I am giving it as a Christmas gift now, but I didn't know that when I was doing it, and it just made it feel really Christmassy. So yeah, those are my finished objects. So now I'm going to move on to whips, and I don't think I've shown this on the podcast, so I'm really excited to show you guys. This is my only knitting whip at the moment because I finished all the projects I've been working on, and I'm going to wait till Christmas Eve to cast on my next project. So this is my only whip, and it is the Kintra sweater by Rebecca from Creya Bea. It is a test knit that she's putting on right now, and I am just so chuffed to have been chosen. Rebecca is such a iconic knitwear designer and vlogger, and it just means the world that I was chosen to test knit this sweater. Also because I think this will be a sweater that I knit time and again. So the basic concept was there are 24 stripes almost forever. I think the earlier sizes, she might have like 22, but almost every single size has 24 stripes. And so you could knit, and each stripe uses less than less than 20 grams. I don't even think I used more than like 7 grams per stripe. So you could do it as using your advent calendar yarn. So many times you see people getting advent calendars, but they don't know what to knit, and they often turn to a blanket like the Sweet Shop blanket, which is stunning. However, people like me who have realized they don't like knitting blankets want to participate, but then don't have anything to do with the yarn. So she thought of this as an idea that you could knit like a stripe a day for Advent, which I love. And even though I didn't get an Advent calendar this year, I will definitely go in next year, and I plan to knit the 24 stripe version. But if you don't have an Advent calendar, you can use anywhere from 4 to 24 colors. So I think I did 5. 1, 2, yes, I did 5 colors and just repeated them. I did a light blue and a medium blue, and then a light yellow and an orange. And these are just all scraps from other projects that I've done, or just like skeins of drops yarn that I had lying around. I believe I used less than 50 grams total of every color, maybe even less than 30. So I'll try to put those numbers here up on the side so you can see. I did keep track of how much each. Rebecca did have us keep track of how many grams we used per stripe so that she could, for all of her info. And so I can put that up here on the side. But I think it's a great scrap busting project because you can really just like, if you have 10 grams of 10 different colors, you could knit this just using everything you have. And then for the main color, I used Drops Lima, and I have finished the body. It's going to be very cropped, but it hits me like right where, like it hits about a centimeter below where my skinny jeans hit. So you won't see any skin, but it's very much like you can see my belt. And that's really where I like sweaters to hit at this moment. I don't like tucking them in. I like for them to just be like cinched and cropped at my waist, right where my jeans start. So it does look like a child sweater, but it is indeed not. It is for me. And I started the sleeve last night, and I'm actually hoping to finish this. My goal would be to finish this by Christmas Eve so I can start my Christmas Eve socks. We'll see if that happens. I mean, it is the 21st today, and I have, especially because I'm on break, I should have no problem knitting half a sleeve per day. As you can see, like we're at nap time, and I've already knit probably a third of the sleeve. So I think I could easily, I mean, if I really tried, I could probably finish a sleeve in a day. That's really should be no problem. So hoping to finish this by Christmas Eve and kind of transition, because I've been wearing this holly sweater probably 4 to 5 times a week since like mid-November. And so kind of transitioning, I kind of see this as like my January sweater. I just think the colors are very like, I don't know, they just remind me a lot of like a winter wonderland, and with the lights, like the icy blues and like the sun and the cloud, like it just makes me think of that. So I kind of see this as my January sweater, and I plan on wearing it a lot in the month of January. So yeah, this is the Kintra. I'm making size 3 on 4mm needles using Drops Lima and then other random drop scraps. So this sadly does not come out until February. I think the test knit is, we have to have finished our sweaters by February 12th. She does a full 3-month test knit, which is phenomenal. I love it. I'm just like relaxingly knitting this, and it's so lovely. But it's, I guess, sad for you guys because you don't get to, you have to wait longer. But it comes out sometime in February, and it is amazing. I see myself knitting this at least twice more next year. I'd love to do like a dark purple, like main color version, and then with like autumnal colors for the yoke. And then I'd love to do like an Advent color, like a stripe a day. Again, I think that would be beautiful. So maybe like a green, like a Christmassy green. Oh, that would be beautiful. It depends on what Advent I guess. This would be my first Advent. I mean, it's not even Christmas 2024. I'm already planning like what yarn I'm going to buy for Advent 2025, but we are planner headers. So yeah, that is the Kintra sweater by Rebecca Coe. Rebecca at Creative Knits. And then another sewing whip I have is the Grace bodysuit by, oh goodness, who's that by? Beanie Patterns, which is a French company. And actually the Grace bodysuit just got translated into English like a week ago. Like 2 weeks ago, I went on her Etsy shop to see if she had it in English, and she didn't. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. And I was like looking for other patterns. And then I was like, you know what? I like that. I'm just going to figure it out. I'll just follow the pictures. And then I went back a week later and it wasn't English. So I'm so happy I timed that well. But it is a knit like a stretchy fabric for people who aren't sewers. It's like t-shirt material bodysuit. And so it's long sleeve and has like little underwear attachment, so you don't have to worry about tucking it in. And then it features like a ruched wrap bodice. You kind of like the fabric goes like that. Actually, it goes like that. You split the fabric and it goes like that, and then you sew it to the underwear component. So you don't actually wrap it, it's just a faux wrap, but it looks stunning on. I am obviously not done with it, so I feel like you can't really catch the vibe. I almost didn't show it because I feel like it's not showing how lovely it is, but I'll post a picture here so you can see it. It is stunning. Our 6th anniversary is coming up on the 30th of December. We had a Christmas wedding, or a New Year's wedding, but it was more Christmassy than New Year's Eve. And yeah, I was feeling a little more like, I don't really wear a lot of low cut things, but I kind of wanted to be a little fancy this year. We'll use the fancy word. We don't know what we're doing yet. We think we're going to go out for Japanese and then maybe go to our favorite beer bar. Actually, my friend Stephanie's daughter is going to come over and babysit for us. I used to babysit them when they were little kids, and now Stephanie's kids babysit mine, and it's just the sweetest relationship ever. They love my girls like they are a family, and I guess they are in a way. So yeah, this is going to be a very beautiful bodysuit. I see myself knitting or sewing a few of these. I'm kind of in the moment though. This is my first time sewing this, and I'm kind of in like a fit moment. I was very much in the mood to sew. So I started this, and then I realized that like, because it's my first time sewing this, I probably should have done a toile or a practice run, but I did not because I didn't want to. And so I'm kind of like playing with the fit right now. And so it's taking a little bit more motivation, or like a little bit more brain power than I wanted. That's one thing I appreciate about knitting. Like, there's really not so much you could do about fit. Like after you've sewn it, whereas sewing, you can always go back and tweak things. And I think I could have just left it and would have been fine. But because I knew I could make it better, I had to. And so I'm kind of just like, whenever I have the mental energy, have been going back and like adjusting. I just need to find like the right shoulder fit. I'm really particular when I'm sewing about shoulder fit. So yeah, that is the Grace bodysuit. And then I'll just go ahead and guys show you. I'm going to start, one of the things I want to do over the next few days is I'm going to sew a circle skirt using this Atelier Brunette fabric, which is also a French company. I'm just going to do a cute little mini circle skirt with a waistband, kind of self-drafted, and then instead of buttons, I'm going to do like fabric buttons, which is where you cut out like a circle of fabric and pinch it on a button. They're like buttons that you can buy for this purpose, and so they're fabric covered buttons. That's the right word. And so I'm going to probably use like the green parts of this, so it's like matches the fabric exactly, but it kind of stands out. And I think fabric buttons just really like elevate a skirt or a dress like in a really stunning way. It makes it look so classy. I did this on a Simplicity pattern a few years back. I'll try to post a photo, and it just, I love this. One of my favorite dresses. And is this a I almost wore this one because I also made this for an anniversary a few years ago, and it's also a little low cut and something that I don't wear in everyday life. But I was very much feeling like a sweater, a comfy sweater and skirt vibes for this year. So, and like, look how well that fabric matches. It just turned out, so I didn't buy these together, but I'm really happy with how well the green, like the green in the sweater really pulls out the green in the skirt. And yeah, I think it's gonna be really lovely. I'm looking forward to a new outfit for my anniversary. That's something I like to do I don't do it every year, but it's something I like to do when on the years, we kind of make a big date night out of it. So yeah, those are my plans for my anniversary outfit. And then real quickly, I want to show you what I've been up to in spinning, because I finally got my Spinjo back. I was in a really good habit before we left for the States of spinning 10 to 15 minutes at least every day. And I feel like in November, it was just hard to get back in the habit. But I have found it, and it is because of this gorgeous fiber that I found and spun up. It is from Create Works, and it's called Jazzercise, which is just a great name. And I don't know if you can see it very well. I'll try to get my face out so you can. It has these beautiful little sparkly fibers inside, and it's absolutely perfect. I bought it for my daughter, but she saw it and she was like, "That's for me, right? That's for me. It's fine." And I was like, "Yes, it is for you." So I spun this up, and I'm just so happy with how it turned out. It is so soft, and I was worried that the literally fibers would be itchy, but it is not at all. I kind of wish I had bought more of this because it is just stunning. And so over the Christmas break, I'm going to knit a Sophie scarf with this. And I'll talk more about my Christmas break plans in a second. But I wanted to show you this. It is just stunning. I'm so happy with it. It's just like pure unicorn. And it is absolutely fantastic. And then I've also been working on just some like marled Shetland fiber that I got. This was just to practice on. I'm planning on doing the Handspun giveaway or the Handspun exchange for the, oh goodness, Grid Gambit cowl, which is being put on by Emily from the Botanical Knitter and Samantha Guerin for her new shawl pattern, the Grid Gambit. And so I'm just kind of practicing. I'm really good with like I really can do a consistent DK to worsted. This is probably more worsted, but like a heavy DK worsted gauge. And so I'm really trying to get it down to a sport to DK. And so I'm practicing a little bit more just to make sure that I can do a smaller fiber consistently. And so I've been practicing on this marled Shetland, and I think it's going to be really lovely. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I have 200 grams, and it'll be like a sport to DK weight gauge. And yeah, I don't know what maybe a hat or something. Oh, a hat would be really pretty. But I have another hat that I'm going to do in these. I don't know. But it's really lovely and really soft. I've never knit with Shetland before, and I'm really excited to see how it feels knit up and like how it drapes and stuff. So yeah, that's on my spindle right now. And I'll go ahead and show you for the Handspun exchange. I was paired with a woman in, I believe, Ohio. And so I'm going to send her 100 grams of sport to DK weight hand spun yarn, and then she is going to send me 100 grams. And then we can use that or another hand spun to knit the Grid Gambit cowl by Samantha Guerin. And I think this is just stunning. I think I was planning on knitting the Traveler Shawl by Adrienne Mowry, but this one just caught my eye. I love it so much. I love that it only takes 100 grams of hand spun, and then you can use 100 grams of whatever you have laying around. And I think that's just really calls to me in this time of my life, or in time of my handspun journey, if you will. So I'm going to I have 100 grams of this beautiful hand-dyed yarn to, I think her name is Michelle, in Ohio, and I think she's gonna really like it a lot. She asked for warm tones, and I feel like this is kind of like a wintry warm. There's definitely some oranges and pinks in there, but there's also like some lovely, I don't know, it just felt very wintry and very seasonal and kind of reminded me of like a sunny day on the ice. And so I thought this would be really lovely to send to her. And I'm excited to get this spun up. I actually got 150 grams just in case and like to practice on. And I think it's just a little nice snack of a hand spun project. And that's what I really like about this cowl is that you could just use one skein of hand dyed or one skein of hand spun fiber and knit something beautiful with it. So this will actually be I'm going to knit this over the Christmas break, but so my second hand spun project, my first one for myself. And I'm really excited to spin this up and see how it goes. So that is my spinning journey at the moment. And now I just kind of wanted to talk through my plans for Christmas break. It has been, I feel like the Christmas season has been just a whirlwind. I think for everyone feels that way. Like we get to Christmas and we're just so tired. I really felt that way the last couple of weeks, even just getting through was like, just make it a Christmas break, just make it to Christmas break when you can relax. And I'm just excited to like sit and be with my family and watch Christmas movies and knit simple, easy projects. Like I really just can't handle anything too intense right now. And so I was kind of thinking in my head, like, okay, what do I have that I can just knit and will be fun and enjoyable, but also just like not require a lot of thought. It's very much where I am. Even my sewing projects, besides the fit on the shoulders of the bodysuit, the circle skirt that I'm making should also be very simple. And so I think that's just very much the mode I'm in. So I was looking at all my stuff and thinking about what I can make that will be rewarding and fun, but also relaxing. But before I do that, I want to show you, I picked up some like wool, some like fibery postcards. I actually saw these. I picked these up from an artist in Marlburg. Her name is Natascalia, and she had the cutest little like Christmas postcards that I just had to get. Like, look at that. Is that not stunning? So I got the one with the wool shop by itself, and then I also got one that it has a bookstore, a Christmas bakery, and a wool shop back to back, and there's little sleigh, and it's like very Thomas Kincaid-esque, but with like the wool store and the bookshop, and I just fell in love with these. She has postcards that had like a single of the bookshop and a single of the Vinox, the Christmas bakery, and then the wool shop, and I almost got all three or all four. But I was like, no, this is too much. I don't even know what I'm going to do with these, but I could not pass these up. They were just stunning. And I actually got them. She was closing her shop literally an hour after I ordered them. I just happened to see someone else post about them and I could not resist. I think I'm going to frame these and just like hang them up even past Christmas. I think they're just beautiful. So I am glad to have discovered another local artist who I just adore. I think I'm in love with these. And I'm so glad that I found them before she closed her shop for the year. So I wanted to show you this real fast. As fiber people, I also thought you would appreciate that. So now on to Christmas plans. The first thing I'm going to be knitting with my hand-dyed yarn is another Sophie scarf for my daughter. She is in desperate need of hats and scarves. And this will be, I usually make like cowls for her, but we're going to try a Sophie scarf and see how it goes. Partly because I want to steal it occasionally. So my plan is to just do 5mm needles once again, kind of like what I did for my purple Sophie scarf, and knit 50 grams of increases and then turn around and knit 50 grams of decreases. And so I think this will actually be relatively fast. It's only 100 grams. This Sophie Shawl was 200 grams. And so it will be roughly half the size of this, but I think for my 5-year-old, that will actually be really good. I had thought about knitting the Alex hood from Knitting for Olive because I like that it's like a scarf, but you can kind of tug it up. My daughter is like me in that she doesn't like to wear things on her head, but she does like hoods. And so like we both have like worn scarves before. We'll just kind of tuck it up over our heads. And so I think the Alex hood would be really lovely and perfect for her, but I don't have enough yardage in this. So for now, I'm just gonna knit the Sophie scarf for her, and with a little bit of gauge tweaking, and she can pull it up on her head if she needs to. She doesn't have a hood on her jacket, but I always think a knitted hood would be really lovely. So yeah, I'm really excited to knit this up. My goal would be to finish this by New Year's, just because I think this is like a really New Year's Eve, the sparkle, and I think it'll just be really fun to be knitting it around that time, and maybe she can wear it on New Year's. We'll see. I'm not like pressuring myself. I really want to finish my sweater by Christmas, but that's really the only like time restraint that I'm really giving myself. But I think this will be really fun to knit up, and it just makes me really happy every time I look at it, and I'm really excited to steal this from her. So that is the Sophie shawl that I'll be knitting. And then my next easy thing, oh, my Christmas cast on. Yes. Every year I like to cast on something new on Christmas Eve, and I'm going to be taking this lovely skein of hand-dyed sock yarn. Just like, look at that speckles. Beautiful. And I'm going to be knitting the Indoorsy sock by Sondern Yarn Company, and that is a mohair sock. And I just couldn't think of like what a sweeter treat for myself than starting my first pair of mohair socks on Christmas Eve. The Indoorsy sock is on 3mm needles. It is a like DK weight sock, I guess. And I'm hoping I have enough mohair. This is just like in my stash, excuse me. I'm worried, even now looking at it, I'm worried that it's not gonna be enough. We'll see. I think what I'm gonna do though, is I think on the heels and toe, I am going to use like a yellow mohair to kind of also add some variation to the heels and toes. So hopefully if I knit even just like maybe a little shorter sock, maybe I should just buy mohair. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this will be, it's not, I don't know if it's a full skein. I could probably weigh it, and I might have some more. Maybe I'll just like go through my mohair stash. Just like use what I have. I was hoping to use stash yarn, but now that I like have this in my hand, I just don't know. We'll see what happens. I do want to use this up. It's just sitting around. It's some like Drops Kid Silk that I had for a and I honestly, I don't buy Drops Kid Silk anymore, but I think it's a very affordable mohair, but it's just not my favorite. And I think I just love knitting for olive, because it's ethically made, and both for humans and for the animals that it comes from. But now, yeah, I do have this and I'd like to use it up, but it's not my favorite mohair for sure. I'm really excited to use this up. It is beautiful. I bought this in Baltimore from Black Sheep Yarn, and I just think it's absolutely stunning and lovely, and I'm so excited to use this together. And I think because it's like an off-white grayish, it'll kind of mute these colors a little bit. It'll just be really stunning in a simple sock yarn and a simple sock pattern like the Indoorsy sock. So this is my Christmas Eve cast on. It's gonna be stunning, and I'm really excited to get started. I've been holding myself back from starting that because I know that once I start that, it is going to be all I want to do. So, and then another thing I'd like to do, I've been like really in the mood to sew. So once I finish my projects, my anniversary outfit, I'd love to do some more project bags. I've especially been inspired by quilting lately. One of my goals for 2025 is going to be to make a quilt for our bed. I already have it picked out. I already have the fabric. I just need to buy it. But I've been like I've been itching to start a quilting project, but so I think I'm going to use some scraps and kind of just like practice quilting on some project bags. I love those little Ohio stars. And so I think I might make a couple Ohio star quilt project bags as well. But the fourth thing that I want to at least cast on, I definitely won't finish this over the break, but I want to cast it on. I want to start a Brighton beanie, and I finally got this sock yarn from Mindful Creators in the mail. I got the sock set. This is the S'mores colorway and then the Campfire colorway. And when she announced her Campfire collection, I was like, there has to be a S'mores colorway, and I want it. I already knew, even before I saw it, I knew I was going to buy it. And I just am obsessed. Look at those speckles. Can you guys tell I love speckles? But I think she captured the s'mores vibes so well in a yarn. I'm just so chuffed with it. And I love Femme and love supporting her sweet little business. And I'm always so excited to see her colorways come out. So I thought about casting on a pair of socks, but I really need more hats. And I think the fingering weight Brighton Beanie will be just perfect for this. So I'm going to take, the fingering weight in my size requires, I think 90 grams. And so it'll be just perfect. It'll leave me just a little bit left to use on like a special sock project if I want to, but I'm going to be knitting this and I think it'll just be really lovely. Like I don't have any kind of variegated hats and I think that'll be really fun. And then what I think I'm going to do on the brim is I'm going to take the Campfire colorway and duplicate stitch like a little Ohio star into the brim. And so I think that's going to be a really fun way of incorporating the Campfire color and then the s'mores colorway. It'll be really pretty. And the Brighton Beanie is by my friend Angie. Oh, love Angie, such a dear friend, and she's a Berlin designer. And I'll post the Brighton Beanie here to the side. It should already be there. And she came out with there's a fingering weight pattern, and then just last night, I believe, or maybe a couple of days ago by the time I post this video, she came out with an Aran weight version of the same beanie, and I have never bought something so fast. It has a 20 stitch gauge. I believe this is like 32 or 36. It's really tiny. It's knit on 2.25 millimeter needles, or at least to get gauge for me, I have to knit on 2.25 millimeter needles. But the Brighton Beanie Chunky is knit on 4 millimeter needles in Aran or worsted. I'll probably knit worsted weight yarn. Angie has a lot tighter gauge than me, but it's 20 stitch gauge. And I just see this going so fast. What a great, quick project. All of her patterns have like these such thoughtful details that look simple, but are so elegant and so lovely and such quality. I realize I'm biased because she's one of my dearest friends, but I truly love her patterns. And yeah, can absolutely recommend the Brighton Beanie original. So you can use like special sock yarn, or the Brighton Beanie Chunky, which I'm excited to knit up sooner or later. So yeah, I'm really excited to cast this on. This has been a long time in the making. I've been wanting a hat like this for such a long time, probably since Angie originally came out with her Brighton Beanie, where she knit like knitting for all of cashmere. And this is kind of reflective of that. And so I've known I wanted like a brown and white beanie like hers for a long time, probably for almost a year now. And so I'm excited to finally be making that happen. And then the final thing I'm going to be starting is my New Year's Day cast on, which is always my Christmas Eve cast on is always something really simple and relaxing. And then my New Year's Day cast on is always something super challenging. Last Christmas, I cast on the Sweet Shop blanket by Laura Penrose, and it was a great relaxing knit over Christmas. I did get tired of it really fast. Like I love that blanket. It's just not for me. Although maybe this year I'll try and, we'll see. I might try and like add to it. I do think it's lovely and I would like to have one. But that was my Christmas Eve cast on last year. And my New Year's cast on last year was my first ever colorwork sweater. It was the Marika DK sweater by Along Avec Anna. And I'd never done color work before, or I'd done one color work hat successfully. I had never done a color work sweater. And so that was my big like learning project of 2024 is I feel like I really did like not master color work by any means, but like I really got comfortable doing color work socks. I've done 5 stranded color work sweaters. I've done 2 intarsia sweaters, and probably 4 or 5 pairs of colorwork socks. So I really feel like I've gotten comfortable with colorwork, and I'm really proud. I didn't expect myself to do that many, but I'm really proud. I know I've done 6 colorwork sweaters because of my Kintra. So this year my big project is I want to do an all over colorwork sweater, and I'm going to be starting with the Runt I Dalen by Kristen Viola Ogdegaard. I've talked about this one before. I'm obsessed with this sweater, and this is going to be such a learning curve. I'm going to also, I've never done anything like this. It is just stunning. It is going to take so much time. I would not be surprised if this sweater takes me all year because I want to get it right. And I'm going to be using, probably should have gotten this yarn before I started talking about the sweater. I'm going to be using Semilla Gats, which is a sport weight yarn made in Denmark, I believe. And it is also fair trade and organic. So I'm really excited to knit with this yarn. I've never used this company before, but they offered to send me 10 skeins. And so I'm going to be using this as my main color and then white as my contrast color. And then there is a small section of a third color on the sleeve. And so I'm going to be using like a dark burnt orange for that tiny little section. So yeah, I'm really excited to get started on this and really nervous all at the same time. But I've done color work. It should be fine. It's just going to take a long time, and that's okay. So yeah, those are all my Christmas break projects. And I think planning this for at the like I'll have the whole week to just relax and enjoy just simple, easy knitting. And then in a week or I think I'll have the whole week to just do simple, easy knitting, and then I will be ready for something challenging to cast on. So I think it's going to work out really well, and I'm excited to get started on all these projects. So it has been a long year, and to be honest, it's been quite the hard one. I started back to work after being on pregnancy leave and parent leave for 2 years. We have had the learning curve of being two working full-time parents, and it's been a lot. But I'm really treasuring this time to just relax and slow down with my family and work on easy, relaxing projects. I would love to know what you're knitting over the break. If you have a break, I know that everyone is not as lucky as teachers and educators to get a whole week and a half off. But yeah, let me know what you're knitting. Do you have a Christmas Eve cast on or a New Year's cast on? Let me know what you're working on. I would love if you have any like go-to easy relaxing knitting patterns. Let me know what those are. Yeah, it is always a lovely time to sit down with you guys. I hope you have a happy fourth Sunday of Advent, and a happy Christmas, a happy New Year's, a good slide into New Year's, as we say in German. And yeah, bye friends, happy knitting.